Hi, good morning. I hope you are seeing the screen and uh, my voice clearly. So we will start in 2 minutes. Uh, yeah, probably we will start one by one. So first, my request to everyone is for all your questions, please submit in the each video. Say, for example, today class is related to load balancer. If you submit the comment section, I don't have any uh, specific tool to follow up. I will get reminder till I reply. So it will be easy for me because I don't know how many of you following me very recently. I'm also working like you. I'm just helping community for past 9 years. So yesterday alone received more than 100 queries in my WhatsApp. I may miss a lot of queries. You can ask anytime in my WhatsApp or mail, but the queries means if you submit in the each class comment section, it will be easy for me to keep remember, and I will cover with if required there is some example, then probably I can explain you in the next class. Not only for AWS, if you are learning other vertical like Ansible, Azure, DevOps tools, already I released in my YouTube channel. So whenever you struck, you submit it. Anyway, I will keep monitor the comments. If required, I will take your mission remote control. I will resolve it. Yesterday there was almost 7 to 8 issues I have resolved through remote control. So don't hesitate. Just submit in the comment section so that it will be easy for me to keep help everyone. Okay, let's go inside. There is a two queries yesterday. One is why we are using port 80 in load balancer, right? So you need to understand most of the application. Say for example, if we are going to any project, right? Definitely they will have some web application, right? So any web application you need to access from internet or within your office premises, intranet, right? So widely acceptable protocols are HTTP, but if you are running any secure financial transaction, then HTTPS. Especially if you want to expose to internet, then definitely if your client or if you are going to be any standard client project, then definitely it is going to be a HTTPS, because HTTPS is SSL. The type of SSL, it's up to you, but the SSL enabled. So HTTPS port 80 and HTTPS is port 443. So that is why you configure your application. Say for example, yesterday we configure our HTTP is 80, or you can keep your application is 8080 or any port. It's up to you. It's up to your project requirement. But while exposing to outside using load balancer, you stick with port 80 or 443. Suppose my application is 8001. My web server is 8001. But in load balancer, you expose via either HTTP or HTTPS. So people will access using this, but it will come to load balancer. From load balancer, it will redirect it to your configured application. That is a simple logic. You can use even any other ports also. Just I explained while creating the load balancer, right? So let me go again. I will show you quickly. Go to load balancer. Because if you submit all your queries in the comment section, it will be easy for me to help you with the detailed example, and also it will help the community, because like you, some other person also will have the query, but he always hesitate to ask in the forums, right? He can get the learnings from our conversation. So if I go to here, create load balancer, I'm going for create. Say for example, I'm going for web server or application server. So here, see, as per your question, you asked, so you can go with any port in load balancer. Even your application instance, either web server or application server or database or what exactly you want to expose. So you can configure any port, right? But the outside expose, this is going to be your people going to access from outside. So always it's recommended to go with HTTP and HTTPS. If your application is carrying any financial related transaction, then always advisable to go with the HTTP. Yes, because it's SSL enabled. And there is a one more query yesterday. Going to instance, right? There was one person asked why we are using EC2-user, right? So you need to remember, these are all already available images. Say for example, launch instance, right? I'm just going to show you. Because related to that question, we are going to see it today, some of the topics. Say for example, I'm selecting this image. This image is created by Amazon, somebody from Amazon backend team, administrator team. So while creating this image, they created EC2-user. They created EC2-user. So if you choose, say for example, I'm going for community AMIs, say CentOS, I'm just giving you a difference, right? So if I go with this, say for example, this one, right? Automatically, you may need to use user as CentOS. This is how they have created, right? If you refer AWS help pages, they will clearly mentioned for these kind of images, these are the user, you have to use it, because they have created this image with this user. That is why we are also started using. If you want different user, you need to create the machine, you need to log in the machine, and you create all stuff. You want 10 application, you install it. You want 100 user, you create it, and take that image, and whenever you want to create a machine, use that customized image, right? So even go here, and there is a another image, there is a Ubuntu. Come down, scroll down, there is a Ubuntu. If you are planning to use this image, right, then user is going to be Ubuntu, not EC2 user. Ubuntu. Okay, so you need to adhere this, otherwise you cannot log in, because you are trying to log in your user ID. And one more thing, please remember, whenever you launch any machine, right, you cannot do SSH. You need to use keys, right? Later you can switch to any user. If you really want have direct SSH, then you need to enable SSH. By default, as per the security, they have disabled the SSH login for all these images. Yeah, you have created admin group or whatever user, but you haven't enabled SSH. You can create n number of users, you can use those users to log in. Okay, let me quickly show this. Okay, I'm going to create this machine, Amazon to Linux. That is why probably we have to discuss today on the custom image creation. So I'm just going with the by default settings. Say add storage, going for say add tags, say security group, and security group is going to be my existing security group, because I don't want to create every time the machine login. So yesterday we have created this, so I'm going with 80 and port 22. Review and launch. So say review and launch, say launch, and we know this key pair, I have this CNL auth. So say launch instance. So we'll wait for a few minutes, few seconds, so that once we got the 2x2 checks, I will show you how this works, because by default you cannot do SSH. So I can say SSH testing. This is what you started facing the issue. So SSH, you are not able to. You logged in using the key file, you logged in the server, you created the user, correct? Can you confirm in the chat, Rupal? But with that created user, you were not able to log in, correct? Rupal, can you confirm? You created the user after you logged in the instance, right, using the key file. But later you tried to log in the newly created user. Okay, so that is a problem. You need to enable the SSH. Normally in production, if you are going to any cloud project, normally the enabling SSH directly, it's not permitted, right? You enable via key. Of course there will be a centralized authentication. So but you need to understand this also, which is very good to troubleshoot. Wait, let me just refresh so that 2x2 checks. Okay, so it's coming. In the meantime, I'm going for Bomba Extreme. So I'm just going to open mobile stream. So we'll again go and check the instance status. 2 bar 2 is checked. Yeah, the machine is created now. I'm taking the public IP, going for the mobile extreme. Okay, going for session, going for SSH, and say IP address, and then specify username is EC2-user, and then go to advanced SSH settings, use private key, and I'm going to say CNL auth PEM, and then OK. Once we got this, let's wait for the server login. So we are able to log in fast. Sudo su. So now we are in root, right? Automatically, what will happen is you have to enable the SSH, right? How do we enable the SSH? So you always note down this file ctc ssh and then ssh d_config. The key via key also we can able to log in, right? So we will cover that part also in later, because I have to explain one more parameter, but I'm just showing you since you asked. So sst config, going to this file, there is a parameter password authentication no, right? So you need to go here and say disable this and enable this and save the file, and also you go and restart the SSD service. So if you do this later after this class, you try, you are able to log in without any issues. But I would strongly recommend, whenever you create any user, we need to log in via the key, which also the one of the scenario in production. We will see it in hands on in coming classes, right? So I'm going to minimize it. So let's terminate this instance. Okay. So now, yeah, Rupal, we are going to cover it today, the custom image. So we are going to do the same issue addressed. So suppose in you are going to one project. In that project, daily basis, you want to launch a lot of web servers. No, if you are in mobile extreme, okay, let me just go to mobile extreme. There is a settings. Probably I can go to configuration. You need to enable some settings. Probably I'll send the screenshot in the Telegram. So I'm not able to recollect now. There is a settings you need to check it so that it won't get log out or inactive very frequently. Okay, let me just minimize it. Say for example, you are going to one AWS project, right? Yesterday and day before yesterday, we have discussed on the auto scaling, right? Load balancer. Whenever there is a load comes, immediately our expectation is to add 50 machines, but that 50 machines should not have any further configuration. The server is up and running means the server should able to start process the request, right? So which means you have to list down what all servers you need. I need server 1, web server, server 2, application server, server 3, database server, server 4. Like that, this server is going to be development. Again, I need to create a set of servers for my UAT. So each environment, each application wise. But we will take one server. In this server, okay, you need, say, application 1 has to be installed and configured. Application 2 has to be installed and configured. Some of the services also has to be started. Some of the configuration file also has to be configured. So you list down everything, you create a machine, you log in that and do everything. So now the running machine is fulfilling your expectation. Now you know what is the machine, right? You take this image and store as a AMI, Amazon Machine Images, right? So if you want couple of users, you create it. If you want a couple of application, install it. If you want configure some files, you configure it. So do all. But before that, you list down all requirements in simple notepad. Based on this, you do all the tasks in this Linux machine or Windows machine or what OS, Ubuntu or CentOS. So you take the AMI image, right? So from there, whenever I want, if I choose this AMI image, can you confirm in the chat, whatever you configured also will be there or not? So I am launching my new machine from the created custom AMI, which means whatever I completed this task 1, task 2, task 3, task 4 also will be there, right? So that is how, Rupal, your question addressed. So this is how we need to create. This is how Amazon created multiple images. See here. So if you go and say launch instance, you are using, previously they created the image. So they clearly mentioned, if you go with this image, what all you will get. See here, they clearly mentioned you will get Amazon EC2. This is the system D 219, and this is the version. This is the version of packages. This is the version of packages. So everything they have already installed and created a image the similar way. So the same, we are going to create a similar images for our project purpose. So this is also one of the major tasks. Whatever project you go in any of the cloud project, you have to first list down what are all type of servers, each type of servers, what are all packages you need, what are all configuration required, what are all patches required. So you need to do everything before you take image. Okay. And one more question also people are often asking, Vijay, I created the image now with say 100 patches, 100 application and 100 configuration changes. So I completed and taken the AMI image, right? After 6 months, right, I received some critical patch, right? This also one of the patching standard practice, best practice. So whenever you receive any patch, you want to apply the patch for the current running 200 servers. Okay. So most of the people, they will concentrate on the current running servers, right? Apply the running servers. So there are so many servers are running. So apply this patch here, 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 right? Along with this task, you also always ensure whenever there is any change, the best practice is you go and launch one instance from this image, right? You also apply the patch and create the new image and get rid of this old image. This also one of the best practice you need to keep remember on your each activity day to day. This means slowly your headache will be removed. The system administration on a daily basis. Otherwise, what will happen at some point, your master image will not be updated, but you keep on concentrating on the current infrastructure, right? What about the new provision? What about the new provision servers, right? So again, you need to run behind those servers to meet the latest levels, right? So please make sure this point also. Okay, there is a couple of questions. Shall we use any SSH client, browse this folder and edit it and save? Yes, yes. Okay, so now to create some custom image, I'm going to select Amazon Linux. Okay, I'm going to select T1 micro because that is more than enough for our learning, right? T2 micro, sorry. Configure instance details. So I'm going with the default settings, only one instance, right? Add storage, and to save the cost in free tier, because I'm just a fresher, I'm just learning, right? So select always magnetic, right? So if you select this, it will extend your free tier somewhat more. So add tags, say add tag, I'm going to say owner. As I said, you can keep add multiple tags and say configure security group, and you can select existing volume. So I'm going with this, say review launch. So say launch the authentication key. I'm going with the existing key what I have, say launch instance. So let's wait for this instance. Okay, I'm going to name this machine as my web server development environment, say master server. So let's wait for this. Let's wait for the status. So when you go get any subscription, say for example Red Hat. So when you subscribe, then definitely they will keep on send the all patch related information to the registered mail ID. And also, if you request while taking the subscription with the vendor, you can provide a lot of group mail IDs, support mail IDs, so that they can keep broadcast to those mail IDs. So whenever you receive any such patch alerts, as a system administration responsibility to analyze whether first of all the patch is required for our environment, because we cannot go and apply all the patches. If it is applicable, then you go for testing and monitoring, and then you can propose it to production. See, the best practice, apply patches. There is a couple of ways. Using AWS, there are a couple of services available. Using those services also you can apply. And also, if you are looking for some common global tool, because you are foreseeing going to use AWS as well as Azure as well as Google Cloud or multi clouds, then I would prefer to go with some external tool, right? Say Terraform, say Ansible. We'll slowly discuss on the deep dive. Let's wait for the server status. So status check is say 2 bar 2 checks. So once the server is up and running fully, what we are going to do is we are going to take the custom image, right? It's very simple. Let's wait, because you need to modify something, because this server, if you take the image, it will come with the default settings what already have it in the Amazon Linux image, that we no need, right? So now fully up and running, I'm going with the public IP, going with the mobile stream, go to session SSH, and say specify username is ec2-user, say advanced settings. So here private key, and I am going to use the key and also say OK. Automatically what will happen is, once we logged in, I will just zoom it so that everyone will see very clearly. So let's install yum install httpd package, because the httpd package also should be there. Okay, and also we will say service httpd restart, and also check config httpd on. Okay, and say echo. We will configure the index.html. Don't learn anything, just exam point of view. This is a word, we will put it in the index.html, var www html/index.html, enter. So also we will install couple of other packages, yum install, say vsftpd. Sorry, there is a typo mistake, vsftpd. And also you can say touch. You can create some file, var temp/say test1.txt. So like this, whatever you want, you create a user, you create a file, you install software, everything, right? So now what we are going to do is, it's time to take the image. So go here, it's very simple. So go to image, create image, and make sure the naming going to be a meaningful name. So web server development environment master image, right? And also better, you can give the date, or you can put that information in the image description. Okay, and say create image. So what will happen is, there is a image will be created. So where I go and check, go to AMIs, Amazon Machine Images. So Amazon Machine Images, right? So how many of you seeing the Amazon Machine Images? Confirm in the chat. See, whatever the patch you are going to install, it's going to be very less only. So that will be also calculated some couple of hours. So no need to worry about. If you are planning for some small like me learning purpose, then don't worry on that part, right? So I'm going to refresh it. Say status now pending. Again, you can name for me easy identification. So let's copy the same name here also. These are all can be automated if you are going with, say, CloudFormation or Terraform or Ansible. So I can just wait till the status changes. So let's, in the meantime, we will go to instance, right? Port 80 also opened, right? So go and take the IP address and go here. Let's duplicate it and say enter. Just enter this IP address, so that whatever we configure index.html, it should work. So let's wait for some time. If you want, we can check it here. Let's go here, say sudo su and check the status service httpd status. So the service is running. We can even curl -k local http://localhost. So the website is working. Yes, see here. So whatever we configured, the web server is working, right? So now we will go back to AMI and check the, yes, see the image status also now available. That means the image also created successfully. Now go back to instance. We will terminate this instance. We don't need this instance because we have created the image. So delete this, say image state terminate and say terminate, right? Once terminated, what we are going to do is our AMI is fully created, right? So wait for this full termination. The instance is fully terminated. Automatically, what we are going to do is we are going to start new instance creation, right? So till now we have checked the default images, either this or this or this, right? So instead of this, you can go here, say my Amazon machine image, click this, see this. Are you able to see the image which you created now, just now? So even this image, so yesterday we have discussed on the auto scaling part, load balancer creation part, right? So during the auto scaling, we have created launch configuration. At the time, we have given the image, right? And for that, we came here and taken the ID, right? So hereafter, you need to get this ID. This is how the production works, right? So get this ID, we'll see it quickly after this exercise. So I'm selecting my own custom image, which I created just now. Select, and I'm going to select the capacity, same, T2 micro, and going to the default settings, add storage. So I'm going with the same default settings. Tag, if you want, you can configure it. I'm going with the existing auto group, security group, because I need port 80 and port 22. That's it. So review launch it. I'm going with the my default key, which I have already, say launch instance. So let's wait this server, newly created server, up and running, right? So let's wait this new server. So you can launch 100 servers. Those 100 servers also will be launched with whatever you configured now. You configured HTTP, you installed VSFTPD, you created one file in var temp, right? All the 100 machines, if you create from this image, all 100 servers also will start running with this information, with this packages, with these files. Rupal, now you understand, right? Even if you are created some of the users, then custom image, using custom image, if you launch any mission, those users also will be there. Rupal, you got now? So we used to say custom Amazon machine images, custom AMIs. The same, what they did, we are using it, right? Day one. So the similar way for each project, you have to create. But creating this, nowadays, most of the Ansible or Terraform DevOps pipeline, we are using it. Soon, I'm going to release deep dive, which all ready-made scripts. So stay tuned. So let's wait for the status, server status. It will take another 1 minute. So the moment if it is up and running, 2 bar 2 checks. So immediately you no need to log in. Without login itself, you can easily check. How? You can simply you can simply copy this public address and go to your browser. If the web server is working, which means you haven't installed, you haven't logged in. How come the web server is working? Because it is a custom AMI, right? Status check. Wait. So let's take the public IP. Go here. Let's be there the same so that we no need to disturb. See here. So the web server is started working, which means please remember we haven't logged in. We just created a machine. We never installed any web server. How come the same message is coming for new machine also? Because we haven't created from the default image. We have created this server, new server from our custom image. Okay, this is how the production, you need to create hundreds of images. Even whenever you do a massive patching, right, you along with your patching to the existing server, it's your immediate responsibility to update the AMI image, master image, right? Launch the server from the image and log into there and patch to the machine and take the image, get rid of the old image. This also one of the responsibility people are often getting missed out. Because of that, they are ending up with so many administration headaches, right? So the same way, go for launch configuration as part of auto scaling, what we discussed yesterday. Go here. Okay, I'm going to create a new configuration. Just now, when you create a launch configuration, right? So I'm going to open up another window. So here I'm going to say web server development servers or web server dev, and AMI. You should not go with the predefined images which already available in Amazon. So better go to the launch instance, get the image ID which you created now. Prasad, please wait. The patching, anyway, there is a huge topic. I'm going to show you through Ansible. I'm going to show you through Terraform. I'm going to show you through CloudFormation. So also there is a couple of services in AWS. Please wait. No. The existing instance, you need to directly apply the patches. Along with the task, you also always keep remember to add a task to do this master image patched also. So go here, say launch instance, right? Get launch instance. So launch instance and get the images, image ID. Go to my AMI. It's taking some time. So go go here and say my AMI and take this image, copy this, go back to your auto scaling, right? Go here and copy paste or type this one. See here. So it is showing, please remember this image is your custom image, right? Click this and create the auto scaling rule and launch. So now you tell me, whenever there is a utilization increased, right, the auto scaling rule will trigger and it will create a new machine. The new machine will take the image from your custom image. This custom image is your application is fully configured, up and running. So load balancer will start send the request to new server, which will start handle or process immediately. This is how the production works. Okay, let's go here. See, what do you mean SID? Can you explain a little bit? Because SID have more explanation. See, the load balancer is keep on getting attached newly created server. The newly created servers are coming from the custom images. So this custom images, you already configured everything, right? So how do you be good? Can you elaborate your question SID little bit? Because I don't understand your question. Okay, so now I'm going for a EC2 quickly because I need to. I thought to discuss S3 bucket today. Okay, so now hope you all understand the EC2 custom images. Be good. Probably you can post in the comment section with the details so that I will explain tomorrow class. So let's go with the S3 bucket now. So I'm going with the S3. There is a S3 bucket services. So click this and open it in the new window or the same window, right? What is mean by S3 bucket, right? Before going to S3 bucket, right, you need to understand what is the block storage and what is the object storage. This is the object storage. This is the block storage, right? How many of you know what is mean by block storage? What is mean by object storage? When you need block storage, when you need object storage? See, block storage normally will come with the local disk, right? Whenever you create any machine or any resources, you directly provision the storage, right? But when you want, say for example, you are having some files, right? Assume this is your laptop hard disk. So if I want to access this file which is stored in your laptop, I have to connect your laptop. In between, if there is any firewall, all firewall has to be opened. Then only I can able to reach your destination, right? Then I can access this resource, right? If it is object storage, there is a flexibility. I can expose directly to internet via a couple of protocols, right? Automatically, the moment the resource is available via API, right, it is easy to manage my data, right? Most of the web application now is especially Amazon, most of the business now getting operated through object storage because it's easy. You can change the contents, you can publish it. So from your application, you only need to know what is the object ID URL so that I can access it from anywhere, right? A simple example, go here. I already have some buckets. We used to say S3 bucket. You can call it as S3 storage, but in terminology, it's a S3 bucket, right? So go to one of the bucket which I created. Okay, so go to some image. So to do this easy understanding, to start with, you need to have some images with some small file name. You should not have a bigger file name, say 1.jpg, 1.bmp, or 1.png, 2.png. So I will say why in a later. See, Windows SID, there are a couple of ways you need to create a master image. Be good. So whenever in VMware also, when you say copy the OS snapshot, you need to reconfigure, right? You need to reconfigure it, right? Even the Linux host name also has to be recreated, correct? There is a procedure. Otherwise, same host name also will be launched for the new server. You agree? So similar scripts, similar steps also you need to implement in the machine before you take the snapshot. Before you create the image. Because otherwise what will happen is, whenever you launch any machine from the image, right? So the same will come. So normally there will be a procedure according to the OS. You just remind me in this class comment section. I will provide you a detailed step. That is purely Windows administration and respective OS administration. But I will provide you Windows based steps for Linux based steps. But please remind me in the comment section after this video published. Okay, so I have 2.png, right? So I have uploaded this file. For me, technically, this is one of the object, right? From my web application, say Amazon.com, right? So all I need is I need this URL. Simple as that. Copy this and say copy and go here, say put it, enter. So I can, sorry, not this, because from any AWS thing, you can call from this URL because S3 protocol, but from any other application, you can use HTTPS. So it's my mistake. So copy this, right click, open new tab. So access denied. So there is a permission you need to give. Go to permission, enable read permission. I'm enabling the read permission, but there is a huge effort you have to undertake during this S3 bucket permissions, which manually is, I would say, it's really not possible these days. You need to have some automation tool, save changes. So once the permission read is given, right? If you refresh, so you are directly the object is in your S3 bucket, but directly you are accessing via the URL, web URL expose. So object storage, you can put n number of objects, but you can retrieve using HTTP API. So I am going here, I'm going back. So Amazon S3. First, what we'll do is we will create some bucket. Say create bucket, and going for here, bucket name is say CNL, say primary, and 1 September. Okay. So, and also you need to always ensure what is the your data restriction policy. if your client or your project is related to some region only allowed the data storage, right? So you need to select the region also according to the your project security data policy, right? So I'm selecting EU Ireland. Come down. So the previously Amazon doesn't have this option, but recent days they are implementing this by default, which means by default all the access will be blocked, right? It's your responsibility because they entered in a lot of security legal issues. So these days they are by default giving with security only, but it's our responsibility to make sure what kind of a permission, either object level or folder level or across the bucket level, what kind of a read, what kind of a write, what kind of a update we are going to grant for all end users or specific users. So as of now, as part of learning, I am unchecking this, but in production you should not. Come down. I'm acknowledging, yes, I'm aware. We will discuss on the versioning part, but before going there, by default, I'm enabling the versioning so that while explaining, it will be easy for you. Come down. I'm going with bucket, create bucket. So the bucket is created, right? CNL primary 1 September. Click this and I am uploading some file. While uploading, click this, right? Add files, right? So go here and I have some file. So I can just rename this to easy way, paste it, say 1.png, right? So I'm selecting this file, say open, and I'm going to say upload. But before upload, if you want, you can also set the permission. So I'm going with all, upload. So the upload is successful. Now go back. I'm saying close. Go to that file, clicking the file name, because I don't want to give wider permission across from the bucket point of view. Each object, what permission I need to control it. That is the best way. So permission. So what is the first? We'll go to go and access. What is this URL? Right click, say open new tab. Click this. So we will get the permission denied error, right? So we will go here, say permissions, right? And say edit. I'm going to allow only read for everyone. Say read, save. Once saved, probably you can refresh it. See, there is an image. It's started loading now, right? So this image somewhere located in your bucket, but you are simply accessing via object URL, right? This is the exact purpose. S3 bucket in Google Cloud, there is a storage in Azure, blob storage. So this is how they are started provisioning, right? If you are have a habit to purchase most of the items in Amazon, then whenever you move the cursor to any of the images in the website amazon.com, you can find, say for example, if you move the cursor, automatically hereafter you see in the bottom of the pop-up, so you will see some of the object URL in each and every image, each and every icon in the website, right? So we got the object URL, we uploaded, right? What if I wait a minute? So I'm going here, so I'm going in again to the versions in each object. So there is a current version. Suppose while creating the bucket, if you are not enabled the versions, what will happen is it will overwrite the previous one. So please be cautious if you are get into any project where you are moving all the object and you are keep on updating the object and publishing it to pushing it to the S3 bucket. Please make sure the bucket properties enabled with version. So even if you forgot, go to the bucket properties, go to the properties, go to the properties, and there is a bucket versioning. If you forgot while creating, then go here, say edit, and you can enable anytime, at any point of time, right? So the versioning is one of the crucial. In tomorrow class, what we'll do is we will upload a couple of files and we will see how versioning works, and also we will create another bucket in different geography. This we have created in Europe, right? We will create in another geography. We will replicate the files. While replicating the file with version, without version, what is the procedure before version enable, how this is happening, because this is very important. And also you need to understand what kind of a storage tier I need to select for what purpose. We will discuss in detail this. Then we'll also enable as a static website for S3 bucket, and we will go one by one, right? Again, I'm repeating, if you have any queries, because I'm started receiving huge queries in WhatsApp. Uh, Even if I forget, probably if you start put all your queries in the comment section of the related video, that is most important, so that till I answer your query, I will keep get reminder. So that is the way I cannot follow up, or I no need to note down everywhere. So it will be easy for you to reply. Some of the queries require some lab with screenshots. I can do it on my free time. I can help you. The reason I'm encouraging the comment section is, now you are asking, tomorrow the same question also will be applicable for a couple of other people in community, so they will also get benefited. So is there any other query so far what we covered? Be good, Prasad, Vikash, Sridharan. So keep watch out the Telegram. I will keep post the links as well as any. Yes, snapshot also. So tomorrow snapshot, because I need to explain couple of things in S3 bucket. Then I will go back to EC2. Then I will explain snapshot. Then I will come back again with S3, because before snapshot, people has to understand what is the primary replication, so that people will understand when I explain snapshot very clearly. So free tier, normally if you go to your the account section, probably I'll show you tomorrow, because mine is free tier is expired. So I will just show you. Stay tuned. Thanks for everyone. Please invite your circle also who is looking for more hands-on trainings. I know I'm going very slow, but this is how you need to learn in a longer run. Thanks for everyone.